Welcome to the Aquaflow Crypto Lab. Today we have a busy schedule. We are going to start the video with a Bitcoin chart because there are a lot of things happening right now and I need to share this with you. Then, as usual, I'm going to share an update of the XRP Bull Bear Index and the string line. The most important chart of the day is the moonshot chart, so I will share an update of this also. I will not forget to talk about the big picture chart and the current situation. And at the end of the video, we are going to talk about the cloud chart. I hope you're ready. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now, let's begin. As I said, the first analysis of the day is for Bitcoin. You know that Bitcoin is still number one in the crypto world, so we cannot ignore how Bitcoin is doing right now. Indeed, all the market depends on it, even XRP. On this chart, we have a few lines and it may seem overloaded, but don't worry, we will break it down. So let's start with the easiest lines. First, we have the 200 weeks moving average in red. This is the most common one and everybody knows about it. Then in purple, just right here, we have a perfect bottom line. Look, here we have a perfect bottom. Here again, with the COVID sell-off, we have this perfect bottom, right? Again, just right here, it was a local bottom and we have a bounce and we touched it a second time just right here and it is our current bottom. And even in the past, if we take a step back, you see that right here, it was a bottom and here we have a second bottom and a retest of the purple line. Then you should already know about it, but we have the mountain indicator in green. You see that here again, we have a perfect bottom. Here again, you see the mountain indicator going up and the price was attracted to it and we have another bottom. Here again, going up and we have the price attracted to it. We have a bottom and you see that we have confluences, right? Between the purple line and the mountain indicator, both joined and at the same time the price went down like a magnet. Okay, so now let's see again. You see that right here we have the same scenario. We have here the mountain indicator and the price was attracted to it. Then a very important line is the aqua line. You see here in blue, and let me explain what it is. You see that the price cannot go below this aqua line, and when the price goes below it, we have a nice bounce from it. So for example, just right here we pierced it and we have a bounce. Here we pierced it, we have a bounce. Okay, and let's see here again, it's a perfect resistance. We pierced it, we have a bounce. We pierced it, we have another bounce. Here again, pierced it, we have a bounce. Even for the bottom, we have a bounce. Here again, we pierced it, but right away, we have a bounce to the upside. And it goes on and on and on. Even here, you see the most recent top from Bitcoin. We have a nice support before a bounce. We have here a support before a bounce. Here we have a test, we have a small bounce and a retest. We stayed below the line for a couple of weeks, but at the end we made it out of it and we have a bounce. And what I like to see is that XRP is very close from this line. This is crucial because we know that usually this aqua line is a nice support, and as it is very close from the current price, if history repeats, we should have a bounce from it. But there is something in the chart that worries me and I will talk about it soon, but first I wanted to share this information with you. Then on this chart we have also another pink line. It's between pink and purple, but you see it with the dots right here. And I call this line the capitulation line. Why? It's very simple again. You see this line with the dots? You see that when we cross the line, and it was the case just right here, we have a capitulation, right? And we are in a bear market until we cross it again. And why am I saying this? It's very, very important, so stay focused. Let me zoom in. You see that just right here, the price was below the dots, right? We went up, we tried to go above it, but we got a rejection from it and we tested the yellow line, okay? Then we have a second test, but this time we came back down as a support, right? And this time we went far away from it and to the upside. And from this, we knew that we were in a bull market. This is very, very important. So I repeat again, first we were above the line, we crossed it, we went into a bear market, we came back up to retest the dots, right? But we got a rejection and we went into a capitulation. Then we have our two bottoms, right? Then we went up, we retested the line, we got a rejection, we went to the yellow line, right? And we went back up, but this time above the dots of the purple line, and we came back up to test it as a support before going into an official bull market. Now let's see what happened in the future. Again, here you will see why it is a capitulation line, because here you see that it was a support, right? We have a bounce, but after this we crossed the line, right? And it was official, and after the cross we came back up again to retest the line as a resistance this time, and we couldn't go above it and we got a rejection to the downside. It was a capitulation and this led us to a new bottom. Then again we have our nice bounce to the upside, right? And this time, look, we went up, we have a small rejection from the line before going back up. We have our local top, right? And we went back down to retest what? The same line. And it was a beautiful, beautiful confluence point between the aqua line, the pink line, and the yellow line. So again, just right here, you see the power of confluence points, because the price went from here to here only because we have this nice confluence point. Then we have the COVID crisis, right? And we can consider this as an anomaly, despite the fact that we had a confluence point between those two lines, and that's why the price was attracted to this area. But according to the capitulation line, this was an anomaly, right? Because normally what should have happened is to have this, then up, then a retest of the capitulation line before going higher. But as it was the COVID crisis, we pierced all the lines all the way down until touching the bottom line before going back up. And now let's see what happened in the current scenario. You can see that again we have our top, right? We have our top just right here. We went down to retest the purple line. We went up. Then we have our official cross of the line just right here. And what happened? It's a capitulation line, so we got our capitulation, right? And right now, look what's happening. We have our bottoms, right? From the bottom line, then we have a bounce to the upside, and we went to retest the capitulation line as a resistance. This is key because this is exactly what happened in this scenario. You remember we have our two bottoms, we went up to retest the capitulation line, we got rejected from it, and we retested the yellow line. And right now, look, it's exactly the same thing. We have our two bottoms, we went up to retest the capitulation line, we went down to retest the yellow line. And this time it's a little bit different. Why? Because the aqua line is very close from us. And at the same time, we have the aqua line going up, and you see that it's also our current support. And both lines are joining at the same time. That said, you see that we have also the capitulation line going down, and this line is pushing us to the downside. you see that we tested it just right here and we have a correction. Then we test it again just right here and we have a stronger correction. So right now the price is bouncing between both lines, the capitulation line and the yellow line. That's why just right here we are in an indecision area. Why? We have two lines below us as support, right? We have the yellow dots and the aqua line. But at the same time, we have two lines above us, the capitulation line and the 200 weeks moving average. So the next move of Bitcoin will be decisive because either we go up and we start using the moving average and the capitulation line as supports before going up, or we go down and for the very first time, Bitcoin will go below the aqua line and start having a trend below this line. Another thing that is very scary in the charts, I don't want it to happen, but it's a possible scenario because you know the power of confluence points. I know that you can see it too. We have a confluence forming just right here with the bottom line and the mountain indicator. And also there is the gray line. The gray line is also a bottom line that I use as an additional line to confirm confluences. Look, in the past, if you focus on the gray line, you see that here we touched it, we have a bounce, okay? With the aqua line, we have a confluence point, we have a bounce, we have a confluence point again, we have a bounce, we have a confluence point with the gray line, you see it, right? We have a bounce. This is very, very powerful. Here again, we have a confluence, we have a bounce. Confluence with the gray line, we have a bounce. Again, the gray line is going just right here and we have a confluence, we have a bounce. And that's why I'm using this line, right? Here again, the gray line, bounce. Gray line again, bounce. And right now you see that the green line is going down and will join again this line, right? The bottom line of Bitcoin. And at the same time, we have the mountain indicator going up and all these lines should cross in the coming weeks. So does it mean that it will definitely happen? No, it's just a possible scenario. And if it does happen, you will know where it comes from. So to sum it up, right now Bitcoin is in an indecision area, stuck between supports formed by these two lines and resistances formed by these two lines. And the next move of Bitcoin, either above those lines or below those lines, will be decisive. And also, we cannot ignore the fact that we have a confluence point forming just below us in the future, around the end of October. So does it mean that the price will necessarily go down and retest the confluence point? Not at all. Look, in the past, here we had a confluence point, nothing happened. Here again, confluence point, but nothing happened. It was only at the third confluence area that everything happened. But what is scary is, look, the gray line. The gray line was far away from us, but it was when the gray line came in the area of the mountain indicator and the bottom line that we got an attraction of the price. And right now we have three lines forming a confluence point, so I will really pay attention to this. An early bearish sign that will warn us that the price may come to this confluence point is the aqua line, because we know that usually the price doesn't go below the aqua line, or even if it does, it goes back up very quickly. And right now, as we are very close to the aqua line, as long as we use it as a support, we are good, guys. I hope it's clear. It's time to move to the XRP charts. So as promised, we are going to start the XRP analysis with the bull bear index. This indicator is available for free on my website, so if you want it, please have a look at the description of the video. So you can see that right now the bears are taking some ground because up until here, right, XRP was very bullish, but with the last two candles, you can see that the previous candle had a red dot and the current candle have two red dots. Of course, the current candle is still going on, right? So we cannot know how it will end. But there is definitely a bearish vibe in the current trend. That said, I want to pay attention to this part also because the market remains mainly bullish. And we can see the confirmation from the string line because the dots of the string line are still green. We are still above the green line, right? And you can see that candle after candle, we've been using this line as a very, very strong support. And the current candle is no exception to it. As I said, as long as XRP remains above this green line and these green dots, we are good, guys. I know that it looks scary, but with these indicators, we know what to expect. Now, let's move to the moonshot chart. Why did I say that it is the most important analysis in this video? It's very simple. You see that right now, the yellow line is about to cross the green line. And as you know, every time that this happens, we have a huge move in the market. Look, here we have the yellow line touching the green line, and we have a nice reaction of the price to the upside. Here, again, we have a cross and we were officially in a bear market according to this indicator, and we have the price going down. And even here, the price was going up above the red line, but we have still the yellow line going up and it touched the red line without crossing it, right? And we have a rejection from the red line. And this was definitely what pushed us to the bottom that we had just right here. Again, here we have the yellow line crossing, we have a moonshot. Here, of course, we have the SEC sell-off, but the yellow line remained above the green line, so we were still in the bull market. This is very, very important. More recently, we have a cross, we have a new bottom, right, that pushed us. And here we have another cross and we have a small moonshot. But the decision that we are waiting for is this one. XRP has to prevent the cross between the yellow line and the green line. If XRP is able to do this, then we will have the yellow line turning back up and it will prevent the cross. As you can see, the possible cross is coming in a near future. This indicator is also available on my website, so if you want it on your chart, please have a look at the description of the video. So this analysis is telling us that we are very close to a big move from the market. Because I repeat again, but either we have a nice bounce of the yellow line from the green line and we know that XRP is preventing the cross from happening, or we have an official cross and the yellow line starts trending below the green line, and in that case we would be in trouble in my opinion. I hope it's clear. It's time to move to the big picture chart. So in the big picture chart, there is nothing new to say. We are still inside the band, inside the bull bear band, right? We are above the bull market support with the blue dots. The current price is still in a transition phase, and we've been in this transition phase since we penetrated the band again, right? And what would be a very bearish move from XRP would be to cross the bull market support in blue and to trend below the band and the bull market support. This would be a very, very bad sign, guys. What we want to see is XRP going back up above first the 180 weeks moving average and of course above the bull bear band, because if we are able to make it above this band again, then everything will change. Let's move to the cloud chart. In this chart I have bad news and good news. Let's start with the bad news. As you can see, currently XRP is trending below the cloud. You can see that so far we were able to close above the cloud. We retested the green line, right? Then we have a retest of the cloud and we closed inside the cloud. We closed inside the cloud. We closed above the cloud. We closed inside the cloud, then again above it, inside it, inside it. But currently the price is trending below the cloud. We tried to penetrate the cloud again and to stay above it, but we got a small rejection and right now the price is below the cloud. I remind you that this candle is a 33 days candle and it will close at the beginning of October, the 3rd of October, and we will start a new candle the 4th of October. So there is still room for XRP to go retesting the cloud and try to close either inside it or even better above it. The good news is at the same time we retested the green line and we are still using it as a very strong support. So right now the price is stuck between the cloud and the green line. And if we have a close of the candle below the cloud, I will start getting a little bit more bearish for XRP. But the real deals are the green line, right? And the bull market support with the blue dots. And if XRP is not able to keep those lines, the green line and the bull market support, as supports, we are in trouble, guys. Let's be clear. So I shared a complete and honest analysis with you guys. I know that this is not necessarily what you want to hear, but we cannot ignore any facts in the charts. And currently there are slight bearish signs popping up around the analysis, despite the fact that we are still in a bull market. So we will track this very closely. If you like my content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That's all for today's video, and as always, time will tell.